Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to a brand new build update video. Alright, so let's just get into this because a lot has changed and my last video was extremely good. A lot of people looked at it, everybody really enjoyed the video. And a lot has changed. That video was uploaded 2 months ago, and obviously since then we have had a patch. And I could comfortably say about over half of my gear is completely changed since that video. So it's time to do a little bit of an update. Now, first thing that's very important as we're going into this is taking a look at the skill tree. In the past, I used to run a Reap because I was edgy like that, but we are back to good old standard. This page, if you're a medium bruiser, is gonna be... You don't really want to change anything here, okay? This is going to be perfection. So you're going to run the Gravity Well with Maelstrom, obviously that Maulers, and just one little point in charge. Take all these little passives as well. This is going to be literally the tree you want to run. I will post in the description, however, a screenshot of if you do want to run Reap. It'll all be in the description. You can check it out, and it is a viable page. But for a bruiser, I think this is simply just too good to not run. And then when it comes to Warhammer, this is gonna be your standard. However, most of the war compositions these days run two different Warhammer builds. One with Wrecking Ball and one with Armor Breaker. Once again, description is going to have a screenshots for Armor Breaker setup. However, this is once again going to be very standard if you are a Wrecking Ball user like I am, for example. So these are my two pages. This is what I run on the daily. Every OPR, every war, you're gonna see me run these two exact pages. And then when it comes to gear, ladies and gentlemen, I'm proud to announce I'm once again broke because we have updated a lot. Now, firstly, let's take a look at the weapons, okay? We got this beautiful Warhammer that we got from Depths. Also, if you're wondering, why the switch from the Blackguards Warhammer into these new Warhammers? Well, they made it so the perks are a lot stronger on weapons. So Shockwave, for example, look at that rend. You want to make sure you put that on a Warhammer now. Okay, same thing would go for a Greataxe, for example. Something like a Maelstrom can be quite viable on a Greataxe. I, however, do not have that yet. We're still running the good old standard Refreshing Move Thwarting Strikes. Couple of Greataxes I would be interested in is obviously Refreshing Move Thwarting Strikes Attunement, Refreshing Move Thwarting Strikes Chain Damage, Refreshing Move Thwarting Strikes Gravity Well even, or Maelstrom. But for example, if I had a Refreshing Move Thwart Strikes Gravity Well on the Greataxe, I would look for 5 times Freedom, Shirking Fortification, and Resilient on a gear set, and that to me would probably be the most cracked setup ever. But let me get... I'm jumping ahead of myself here. There's a lot to show with my gear, you guys are gonna see. But let's just go into the Warhammer first. So, you get this from Depths 10. And obviously keenly empowered to start those combos off with Path of Destiny, which is gonna give you the keenly empowered. Then you can look for a Grav, into Shock, into Maelstrom, your typical combos, right? We also have Rogue, which people sleep on. It is amazing. When people run away from you with Warhammer, it is one of the few weapons that still has a really good lunge mechanic. So you still half heavy with the hammer, for example like this, and you will cover a lot of distance and you will automatically track on the enemies in front of you. So Rogue is going to be absolutely wonderful when it comes to that. But obviously something like Thwarting Strikes, of course, would still be better in my opinion, right? But this, I got really lucky in M10s. Run some Depths, try to get your own Warhammer. Even just Shockwave Kindling Powered Blue Hammer, which is, Purple Hammer, which is very common, would be a decent option. And then obviously standard Greataxe, like you already saw it, right? And as I said, Attunement as a third perk, Chain Damage as a third perk, Shirking Dodge as a third perk, or Maelstrom or Gravity Well. All of those would be a good third perk. However, the Refreshing Move Thwarting Strikes is the baseline you are trying to reach. Okay, now we are gonna go to the gear. And we went from running 5 Resilient and 4 Shirking Fortification in the last build to now having a very close to Beast setup in my opinion. Now, let's start at a feat, okay? We're running Freedom, Shirking, Fortification, Resilient. In my opinion, you either run 3+ Freedom on your Bruiser setup or you try to run 5 Ward setup. When I say Ward setup, you run Resi, Shirking Fortification, and Ward. However, that is, in my opinion, not something I want to run. I like to be dancing around the battlefield, being stunned for almost no time. So I personally will try to commit to 5 freedom pieces, 5 resi pieces, and 4 shirking pieces. That would be my final build. Unless I got gravity well on a Greataxe, then I would go for 5-5-5. However, that is so expensive and unrealistic that I don't think I'll do it. But here, let's go through the gear. The boots, we're running heavy boots and medium helm. You can run heavy helm and medium boots if you so prefer. But we got freedom, shirking, resi. Full beast legs completed. We move one up. We have these legs. We got freedom, shirking, resi once again on a light legs. Completed, and never gonna change this, okay? We're moving up one. We got medium glove with freedom, resi, insatiable gravity well. An alternative to that would be resi, shirking, fortification, gravity well. However, I was doing some thinking, and I think I would rather have 5 freedom than 5 shirking. I think 4 shirking is more than enough, and 5 freedom would just allow me to dance around the battlefield more, so I'm trying to reach that. Then when we come to body, obviously shirking resi on the chest. If I can, eventually I'll upgrade this to resi shirking freedom. It costs about 1.2 million for a piece like that, which is the type of money I currently do not have. And then we go for the medium headwear, and I personally think people really sleep on the critical retribution, but here we have it, resi shirking crit retribution. The only upgrade I would go from here would be resi shirking freedom, and that would be another like 400k piece. So just to look at the value of these items, this would be a 400 to 500k piece, this would be a 600 to 700k piece, this would be a 300 to 500k piece, depending on the seller and depending on, yeah, its glove. It's like not the best, but not the worst. Obviously, resi shirking freedom on a body would be about 1.2 million at the moment, and resi shirking freedom on a helmet would be anywhere between 300 to 500k at the moment because it's a medium piece. On a heavy, that would be a lot more. And now let's go to the jewelry, okay? The jewelry is also updated. We have a full beast amulet at the moment for wars with the stamina, recovery, health, and slash protection. This is about 400k at the time I bought it. At the moment, maybe it's a bit less, maybe it's a bit more, I don't know. Another alternative could be Champion's Amulet. This is a very solid alternative, but it is a very aggressive alternative. So for example, the slash protection, it's almost like having 2 extra gems in your armor, whilst the Champion's Amulet is going to give you that shirking in power. So every time you're successfully dodging, you're going to be dealing more damage. It's solid, you're going to be a little bit more squishy. I still value survivability a little bit more than damage on a Bruiser personally. Some people will prefer Champion's Amulet over what I'm using, and that is perfectly fine. It's all about preference and your playstyle at the end of the day, right? But I would not invest in an amulet if you have Champion's Amulet. I would first look to invest that money into the gear. If we're moving down a notch, we have Champion's Ring, one of the best rings in the game at the moment. However, recently, I've been very much experimenting with this beautiful ring right here, the Mortal Empowerment Leeching Hearty. And the reason why I can experiment with that is because I have crit retribution on the helm. So when I'm missing keen awareness, I'm getting it back from the crit retribution on the helmet in a little bit less of a format, but it still does the job. It still does, like, I'm nerd talking right now, right? But this is the ring I run in every single OPR. When you see me popping like 30-40 kills on a Bruiser, it's because this Mortal Empowerment is so strong when you don't die that you're dealing some crazy numbers damage. If I look for Shockwave, dodge behind someone into a heavy attack, I'm looking at 5, 6, 7,000 damage on a Warhammer on a medium. So it is absolutely ridiculous. But I have these 2 rings. Some wars I do Champion's Ring, some easier wars where I feel like I'm gonna get a lot of kills, I run Mortal Empowerment Ring. I got these 2 options, I can switch them about. If I'm starting the war and I'm getting killed a lot, I'll just swap to Champion's Ring. If I'm not, I'll just swap back to these. I also really like leeching. People sleep on leeching. It is solid, man. It gives you a lot of survivability, especially in all the clumps that you're left clicking. With cleansing potions, you end up healing a lot from just basic auto attacks. And then lastly, we're running Doomschan's Earring. I need to run Doomschan's because all my gear is Constitution. So if I don't run Doomschan's, I go over Con and I can't reach 300 Strength. So it's one of those things where Doomschan's is needed for me. But if not, you can also run the Champion's Earring. It is completely the same, just in Constitution variety. And that is it. That is what we run. This is what I'm recording this one day before my birthday, 15th of September. And this is the build. This is what I'm going to run for all the upcoming wars leading up to the Greatsword release. At that point, I'm most likely going to be dropping the Warhammer and looking to play Greataxe, Greataxe with Greatsword. That's what I'm thinking. But there is a small chance where I might play Warhammer Greatsword. And in that case, this piece becomes shit and I might be looking for Resisher King Freedom Gloves. Okay, so that's the beauty of New World. You can always look to expand or improve your setups depending on what you're running. But this is it. This is what I'm mostly running. I obviously have a ton of other setups. If you look at my inventory, dude, I could make so many videos on my different builds. I'm literally a walking bank. I kid you not. I got everything in here. From mage setups to spear, rapier, to every single dungeon 6 to 5 gear score setup. We got it all, okay? But perhaps for the future videos, perhaps I can make a video on every single dungeon, how we run like 5 constitution DPS builds in every single dungeon with full ward setups. Like, I'll just give you a sneak peek. When you look at my amulets, we have amulets for every single dungeon with frozen protection and ice damage resistance, with void protection and void gem inside, with nature protection and nature gem inside. We got it all. But yeah, that is probably everything we have to do for this build video, keeping it nice and short. If you guys have any questions, if I somehow forgot anything, please leave it in the comments. I will respond to every single one of you, okay? Ask me, don't be afraid. I am free to just respond to everything. And if you have any further questions, I stream almost every single day for over 6 hours every single day on Twitch. Hop over, ask anything you're interested in. I'm more than happy to help you out. I guess that's it. Hopefully you guys will look forward to some of the war videos coming with this setup. And yeah, I'm excited for the Greatsword release, I guess. See you guys around. Thank you very much for watching. Another build video will probably happen when the gear score patch happens, or when I actually complete 5 out of 5 base everything. But I think I went in depth enough. I explained my thought process behind every one of my pieces. Lastly, I guess I can showcase this, which is my I guess protection. It kind of sucks for OPR because I don't have a lot of thrust protection. But I personally don't really care, alright? But fire damage resistance for the blunderbuss, slash damage resistance for all the maelstroms and whatnot that get hits by the point, and obviously we are using tier 5 gemstone dusts in wars. And that is it. That is gonna be the build for OPR, the build for wars, and you're gonna have a great time playing it. Alright, I'm rambling. Thank you for watching. If you made it this far, leave me a like. Help me out. It helps. It really helps. The channel's been doing wonderful. The stream's been doing wonderful. I appreciate you all, and I'll see you again with another war video. Have a good one. Bye-bye.